Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX, and it is time for the daily video update. There's some interesting things to look at, and we're going to talk about them here in just a moment. A couple of points to bring up quickly. Oil is at, I believe, multi-year lows, or at least yearly 12-month lows. Definitely lows for this year for sure, but I believe we're back into lows of some of the lower ranges of last year. So nice movements on oil, big movements there. Gold seemed to recover quite a bit today. We saw that gold was the only thing that ended anywhere near the positive. Dow about 160 points down, S&P about 20 points down. Pretty rough days, a pretty rough day overall for all the markets. As far as news coming out, you can see that we've got a little bit of New Zealand and Australian news coming this afternoon. Nothing too major. Private capital and building approvals are not big movers on the Aussie dollar, so I wouldn't worry too terribly much about that. However, coming into tomorrow, Thursday, you can see that we have the ADP report, and yes, this is non-farm payroll week. So we've got the ADP report out tomorrow morning, and then we have the preliminary GDP as well as unemployment claims. So the U.S. is going to be pretty intense tomorrow as far as the U.S. session goes. There's lots of news and there should be lots of movement, so we're going to see how things go there. Quick look at the dollar index. 82 has been the big level. You can see that the dollar index is currently at 83.15. That is a big up there level. If we just look quickly at some of these higher points, we still see that there's this kind of 88 to 90 range that's kind of the highest points that we can see over the last several years. And we're a ways from there, but we're definitely above short-term and medium-term resistance. So that's pretty good on the momentum side of things. Here's the euro dollar. We had a sell order at 125.40 on the euro dollar for last night. It just didn't quite get there. Couldn't get above that 125.00 and ended up just tanking once again today. Another big down day for the euro, and news is not looking any better. It is getting to the bottom here of the short-term channel. You can see that this short-term channel on the 4-hour chart, it's to the bottom. It's at the bottom. It's beyond the bottom. I'm having trouble extending the channel out any further because it's so close. It's just right at the bottom there. So looking for a little tiny bit of retracement, a little bit of pullback here. If we go to our weekly chart, we can see that the big target here on the euro, and you've heard this talked about quite a bit, is the 118, 119 area. And I think the euro is headed that direction in a quick hurry. But it does have to pull back a little bit. And we do need to get a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of retracement, and that's what I'm going to be looking for, especially since we're at the end, or excuse me, the bottom of this channel. Once again, looking at the daily chart, we see that we're still a ways off the 5th daily fib. So technically speaking, there is room for this to go to reach that 5th daily fib, and there is quite a bit of room to go to get there. So what we're looking at here is just kind of a combination of should see a little bit of short-term relief, but definitely looking to continue shorting this and selling into the rallies. I really like this 12500 area, and a retracement back towards that general area with stops above it would be very interesting, and I think very well placed. But I don't know if we're going to get that much retracement. That's actually a lot of retracement. And that's about all I see doing at this point. I don't know what kind of entry we could just have here at the bottom of the channel. So I'm waiting for some pullback, waiting for this thing to at least get up to about the 124.60s, 70s, but ideally a bit closer to 12500, like 124.80, 85. But that's kind of the waiting game there. Pound dollar has been sideways for many days and finally decided to make a big break for it. Now, what do we have on the pound dollar? It's been kind of a slow, steady process with, week after week of just kind of slow declines, and then we get a couple of days of quick movement and then slow declines, and then, it all happens over a 1 to 2 day period, and then it ends up slowing down and so on and so forth. Our targets here on the pound dollar, the next initial target is 154.25 / 15400. So looking to kind of get into that general area. This is 154.25 right here, and then 15400 is going to be just right in this general area here as we get down to some of these lower areas. And then obviously we have this low down here, which is about 152.85 and so on, and that's quite a ways down there, and we may or may not see that happen in a major way, but for the time being, looking for that initial target of about 154.00, and you can see that we're sitting at about 154.80. So we've got a couple of pips to go. I'd like to draw some fib levels and see if we can get some retracement here, but we need to see if we can even get some retracement in the first place. Euro yen, same kind of situation. If we go to the larger time frames, you can see that our big low here, which I don't think the euro yen is going to have any problem reaching, is 9,700. It's currently at 97, just about 80, just about 97.80. So I think we're going to have an easy run for an additional 80 pips there. But I'd like to see some pullback and see this thing kind of come off the bottom of this channel. It's been respecting this channel pretty well, and it's at the bottom of the channel, and if it's going to keep going, that's one thing, but it looks like it's about time we get a little bit of a pullback and a little bit of a retracement. But the way everything's looking, I think we have a pretty heavy market, so what I'm going to be looking for is just keeping a really close eye on this, and I recommend you guys doing the same thing. A little break below about this 97.75 should carry the euro yen an additional, probably 25 to 40 pips. Take us down to that 97.50, 97.40 kind of general area. So look for a little break of this 97.75, and if we get below that, we're headed into 97.50 at the very least, and we could be starting that path already to that 9700 area. So look for that. Quick little look at the pound yen. This thing has got a long ways to go. Big trend line break on this daily chart, and you can see kind of these types of movements here and so on. And it's been coming down. It's below all major supports right now, and there's really nothing too much stopping it. You can see this little level right here where we had kind of a double top and then a breakout, some consolidation there and a breakout, and it's right back to that level, and that's about 122.50. But that could be a point of retracement, and if it is, then I'm looking for some of that pullback to happen here and get this up at least to that 38% fib, which would be about 100 pips of pullback, 90 to 100 pips. I don't know if we're going to get there, but I'll be watching for that to see if that happens. Aussie dollar is down to daily and weekly lows here, making some nice little runs. If we look at the Aussie dollar on the daily chart, we know that this is the big tough level right here, and this is 96.65 really is where this one is, but at the rate things are going, the Aussie looks like it might be able to really get below that. Now the market on this weekly chart, as you can see here, the market has not been able to open below that level for some time, but it definitely has tested it with some pretty low pushes here, and you can see this low over here, which is 93.95 and so on. And so I think there's definitely a little bit of further risk of downside if we can break through this level and kind of make our way through some of that. So we're going to be watching that and looking to see if we can get some moves down and some pushes lower and so on. So look for a break and an open on the 1 hour chart below 9,700. That's going to be crucial. Gold has tested once again, and it's done it many times now, 1530, 1530, 1530, and it just keeps bouncing off it. But it is making, and we can probably adjust this trend line now, it is making lower highs. We had a nice little double top here, and then a lower high, and it's just kind of working its way down. Here's a lower high, and I'm starting to like possible shorting opportunities here on gold with stops up above some of these highs, which are a little ways away now, but I think gold's going to work its way back down to that 1550 and beyond. Quick little look at the excuse me, at the Aussie yen. It looks like this guy is ready to rock and roll and just continue on lower. We're breaking multi-week lows and monthly lows and so on, and there's pretty strong support right there. And the Aussie yen is having not too much trouble getting below that. That's about 7,700. That level right there. We're coming to a new daily candle in just a couple hours here, and we'll see if that's going to give us an open below this level. If it does, I'm looking to trade this down to the next major area, which is 200 entire pips, down to 74.80, 74.50, 7,500 to play it safe, kind of a thing. But I think we've got another run in the works on this Aussie yen right here, and you can see that here's kind of where these levels have continued to test, and this is about 76.70. So a little push below that should take this pair very nicely, another 40-50 pips down. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Lots of good things happening, great setups. We'll see you in the chat with more details, and best of luck, everyone.